Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata.
Hi guys, I'm here to expand a little bit on this vlog of this idea of sazon and what this really brings into our lives. I am a teacher and a student of A Course in Miracles, and even though if you open up A Course in Miracles, you are not going to find the word in the Course in Miracles called sazon. This is a word that I've actually just been guided to use from my voice of love, just to bring a different flavor, and a different message to the spiritual principles that are in A Course in Miracles. And what sazon is really based on, last week I talked about spiritual seasoning. Well, there's more to it, and as this word and energy grows with me, so do the teachings around it and what I'm really being asked to bring to the table, no pun intended, with the word sazon. And my voice of love really brought to my attention this idea that there's two themes going on in Course in Miracles that are really important. One is the idea of the sonship, this idea of brotherhood, sisterhood, spirithood, that we all are really one. We're just one big ball of energy. We're one spirit. We're all one God. It's however you want to word it, but we all basically come from the same place. And as we detoured, we started to perceive this idea of separateness. And then we showed up in different bodies, you know what I mean? Like we're all kind of in our individual bodies. So this just reinforced the idea that, I am separate than one. On top of it all, we came out different colors, different hair, whatever it is. And then more and more, we reinforced this idea of separation. So with this idea comes also another theme in the Course in Miracles is the idea of spirit. So hand in hand with that is that not only are we all one, but we really are not these bodies that we perceive. We're actually just spirit. And you've heard this in many different spiritual practices talk about this. We're not human beings having a spiritual experience, but we're actually spirits having a human being experience. Mike Dooley, the author of Choose Your Thoughts Wisely, he has these beautiful writings that talk all the time about how we came into this idea of time and space. We actually came from a place where there was no such thing. This is obviously all an illusion. So this is kind of echoed in many different teachings and in many different places. It's not just in the Course in Miracles. And the idea here is that, like I said, the two themes that I'm going to connect to sazon is really this idea that we all came from the same place. And not only that, but we're really spirit and we're transcending. So what has happened, and what I've seen happen a lot of times in, for instance, religion has done this. Unfortunately, the ego can get into anything that we allow it to get into or whatever belief we put into it. And it's caused us to be very divisive. So what would bring us together has begun to tear us apart. And the idea, like religion, it used to be, I'm sure the concept, the intention was for it to bring people together, but over time it has not done that. Instead, it has just pointed out more differences that we had and brought us apart. So what sazon is, obviously it's a word that I've gotten out of the idea of food, because that's what it is. It literally, that's what it is, the seasoning we put on food. And the intention behind food is really that it brings us physical energy. So I think the intention behind sazon is that it does bring us the spiritual energy, the spiritual sustainability that we need to really have this experience and fulfill our lives here in this temporary place. The other is the idea of bringing people together. So food is typically in any culture and any people, it's this energy of it brings people together. You have a birthday party, you celebrate it around food. You have Thanksgiving, we celebrate it around food. Whatever country you go to and how many different cultures there's a lot of things that surround food. So this is why this intention and this energy is so important in this idea and in this concept of sazon, because the energy behind sazon is really to bring people together. Okay, so instead of using this energy that has happened, that the ego has gotten into, that has caused us to tear each other apart, to think that we're all these different people having all these different kinds of lives. And even though it does look like that on the outside, that when we go beyond that, when we really get into spirit, we realize that we all really are the same. And that is why the spiritual seasoning I talked about last time, and I talked about recognizing in each other, and we all have it, that flavor. It's so important to see that, because we really need to be able to heal together. And the Course teaches that obviously as one person heals and reaches that place where you're able to transcend the ideas and the idea of separation that this world has given us, that the ego has fed us, then we can also bring the rest of those people around us with us. So I think this is a beautiful idea, that we cannot get back to love on our own, that as we return, others return with us. This is why I called the vlog a spiritual block party, because I thought of Sazon as this beautiful concept that we all have this energy that's waiting to taste the flavor that we're adding to life, that is ready to be yummy. And we all have this beautiful, table where all of us are sitting together. I'm talking about everybody, okay? And in my spiritual block party, there's amazing food on the table. There's lots of sazon. And I hear 50 Cent in the club. I don't know. That's just part of my sazon, the hip hop. Or Jay-Z, H to the Izzo. That's what I hear. But it's this beautiful concept of everybody actually coming together. There's no longer this separation. I can sit beside someone that's Christian or Buddhist, or I can sit someone that is from Latin America or from Europe, or I can sit someone, I have a straight person here, a gay person here. I can say whatever, and everybody gets this idea that we no longer are restricted and limited to these individual bodies that we have. And I'm just pinching myself to show you that, we can be very restricted to this, and we can very much think that, okay, I am this, I'm identified with this, and anything that's different than me is separate. And this happens in every kind of way in our society, and it's been very detrimental to us evolving back into love. It's definitely been something that has taken us into fear. I do think that we've made great strides in that direction. People are really starting to wake up and no longer perceive people as what they look on the outside, really perceive it for what they are and this beautiful light that they are on the inside. So what I really want you to encourage you to do is really take this energy of Sazon and start really expanding it the way that I've been getting taught to expand this for myself. This idea that it's an energy that brings us all together. It's an energy that goes beyond what I can see with my eyes. It's an energy that really reinforces these ideas in Course in Miracles, that we're all one, that we're all spirit, that we're all meant to have this huge gathering, not in the literal sense, but in the mind. So, when I meditate, to take this beautiful image of everybody coming together and having this beautiful spiritual block party in my mind, because that's really the one place where we're going to get back to love. It's in our heads. Okay, so I'm not talking about a literal, throw a block party. If you want, sure, have yourself a party. But I'm talking about in the mind, really joining with other people and stop separating and perceiving, our brothers and sisters, our fellow humans, whatever you want to call other people, different than us and separate than us, more importantly, because even though on the outside we might all look different or whatever, or have different interests or just to live different lives, on the inside, the essence of all of us is really the same. So I hope you had a good time with this blog. It's a very interesting energy that I still am growing with myself. So as I grow with it, I try to share it with you guys. And like I said, I'm sure there's so many more lessons to come from my voice of love when it comes to Sazon. Throw yourself a spiritual block party in your mind. Picture everybody having just a blast, eating tons of food, coming together, and all of us joining in hands, returning back to love. Love you. Bye.